Hey guys, F.O.O.L here, and today I'm going to be testing the Pagani Huayra R at Golden Max in Asphalt 9 multiplayer. This is in the Huayra R season, but you were able to play in a lot of other different cars against this one as well. You could also play in the Avia or the Bentley Continental GT Speed, which I'm also planning on making a video about very soon, but of course the headlining car of the season was this Huayra R, and I'm going to be telling you all about it in this video. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure to check out my F.O.O.L Clips channel, as well as my F.O.O.L TV channel and my Purple Team Discord. You can find the links to those down in the description, and I hope you enjoy the video. So how is the Pagani Huayra R? Well, it was touted by Gameloft to be the new king of Class B, but the real question is, does it hold up? And the answer to that is unfortunately no. It's a pretty fun car to drive overall. I mean, I enjoyed it in this season, but it has some downfalls. You see, it does have the new highest rank in Class B. However, when you compare this to the McLaren F.O.O.L, which is the current Class B king on, I believe, a majority of tracks, it actually loses to the F.O.O.L on practically all of them. I'm not sure if there's one track it actually beats the F.O.O.L on. This is because even though the Huayra has around 9 better acceleration, 83 versus 74, all of its other stats are noticeably worse. Its top speed is fairly close, but the handling is not as good, and neither is the nitro. And there, I actually had forgotten to turn off manual acceleration for my stream. This was the very first race I played after my stream, so I pretty much got a full second of, well, I should say the other cars got a full second of a head start. Recently, I unlocked my 119th car, the GT by Citroen, through its daily event sequence, and I have actually managed to 2-star it as well. Unfortunately, that used up most of my tokens, but the GT by Citroen is a car that I've wanted to get for a long time, ever since it first came out in the Bugatti La Voiture Drive Syndicate. There, unfortunately, you would have to spend, I think, around $40 in real money on average to just unlock that car. But now, since we know that so many previously pay-to-win cars are coming back for free-to-play players in droves, honestly, I mean, we now have the Neo as well that free-to-play players can pick up. Not that I would recommend going for that one all that hard. It's pretty much the worst car in Class A, but that's kind of besides the point. I have the GT by Citroen now at 2 stars, so I can make it purple, and I should be making a video about that pretty soon. Now, my angle on that car is going to be pretty much how it can be one of the better low-star cars in the game. In my opinion, especially in Ghost Slipstream, it can definitely do some damage because it is very fast even at a low rank. Now, how does it manage to do this? Because it also has decent, but not amazing, handling, drifting, and nitro efficiency. Well, the issue is in its acceleration. It's kind of the same thing with the F.O.O.L, except even more extreme. It has, at 2 stars, an acceleration of around 70, which is not very good at all, as you guys probably know, especially for Class A, and that wouldn't even be good in pretty much any other class either. However, it can go around 243, 244 miles per hour at this rank because of the 247 at max, making it the fastest A-class car in the game. And so yeah, I'm very excited to see how it does in multiplayer. I'm going to be testing it in the Ghost Slipstream season that's currently going on. I think it will have a similar situation to the F.O.O.L in multiplayer, by which I mean you're going to fall behind in the beginning, but then because of the Slipstream, you'll be able to get up to your top speed pretty quickly, catch up, and be able to do okay. Now, all of the races in this video were recorded in Elite League. I usually like to do this with the top car in a season if there are many different cars that I can use, if it's one of these max free try seasons, I mean. Mainly because, well, it's going to be better competition this way, and also in the case where you have a bunch of different cars in a season, and I want to test one of the lower cars in it in one of these max free try seasons. Again, I will typically go in a just in a lower league, because that way, even though I may be facing some of the higher ranked cars, which are better overall, my competition may be a bit more to the point where I can actually beat some of them. Like in my upcoming video about the Bentley Continental GT Speed, I was in, I think, maybe Rookie League, I don't remember where exactly, but I was facing some Huayras and stuff and actually beating them. If I were to use the GT Speed up in Elite League, that would not be happening. And also, I was glad I was able to play with this car on Auckland because it is one of my least favorite tracks in the game at this point. Yeah, I know, when it first came out, I thought it was okay-ish, but the more I've played on it, the more I've realized, yeah, this isn't really all that great of a track. The reason why I'm glad I played on it, though, was because if I'm able to enjoy playing on a track that I don't particularly like with a car, then I know that that car is probably at least pretty good. And I was fairly impressed with this car's ability to get around turns and stuff like that. It drifts fairly well, not as well as the F.O.O.L, and I would say, although its biggest issue is probably in the speed while drifting. While its drifting is sharp enough, it does lose a lot of speed, and I think this contributes to the slightly more sluggish feel you get when driving this car, even though overall it does drive pretty well. On the other hand, I was also able to do well on more top speed focused tracks such as the Himalayas in this car too, because it is, I believe, the fastest car in the season. The Avia is also very close to it, because that's another high-end B-class car that I would actually compare this one to more than a lot of the other ones. The Avia drives somewhat similar to this Huayra R from my experience, because it is a slightly stiffer car that doesn't drift quite as well, but is still very fast and close to the top of its class, just not quite really a king on anything. So I did have a lot of good competition against Avias and other Huayra Rs, of course, as well in this video. So some funny things have happened recently in reference to the next update. Some of you guys may remember not too long ago that Arash actually leaked that their Arash AF8 Falcon Edition was going to be coming to Asphalt 9 before it was officially announced by Gameloft, or before we even knew about it in the influencer program. Like, we didn't have stats or anything like that yet. It was pretty early on in the previous update, actually. Well, something like that has actually happened again. We now know 2 new cars that are going to be coming in the next update. Not because Gameloft has talked about them, but because their manufacturers have talked about them. We have a new Inferno, the Inferno Automobili Settimo Cerchio, no idea if I pronounced that correctly. We've also got the Faraday Future FF01, which should be quite interesting cars. I will say I do like the look of this Inferno a lot better than the other Inferno we have in the game. It is more normal looking, I guess, so we'll have to see how its performance is, obviously, but it's just funny. Now we've got 2 cars leaked by their manufacturers ahead of time in one update, and I think it would be absolutely hilarious if this kept happening, because in a sense, the car manufacturers themselves are promoting Asphalt 9, which is kind of cool, honestly. It kind of shows you how big Asphalt 9 has gotten to some extent. Now, obviously, it's not as big as something like Forza or whatever, but I still like to think it's bigger than some people may give it credit for. Now it's time for my general review about this car. The Huayra R is obtainable in a Legend Pass only special event, and I can't imagine it will be all that cheap to get, so honestly I would recommend that if you have any of the current B-Class Kings already, such as the Huracan or the F.O.O.L, don't bother going for this one. The acceleration and speed are good, but overall the F.O.O.L just beats it pretty much everywhere. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, Minecraft, and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!